So I've been describing my campaign as post-ironic, and it's a bit of a loaded term, so I thought we should take a video and talk about what that means. Post-ironic, again, it's one of those vibe terms. It's very squishy. It's not very well defined. So you can use it in a lot of different ways. Some people use it to define meta-irony, you know. Some people use it to define returning to sincerity. The way I'm using it in this campaign is just, I am trying to push actual sincere issues instead of just deconstructing the political process. I'm gonna go deeper into that in this video, but that's essentially what I'm doing. So how can I explain to you what a post-ironic political campaign is, what it looks like, what it's trying to do? I think the best way to do that is to start with what an ironic political campaign is. Ironic political campaigns are ironic. And irony isn't for building things. It's not really a great tool for constructing stuff. It's a lot more like a jar of acid. Now look, when wielded expertly, the jar of acid can be used to deconstruct bad structures or bring attention to something that's clearly ridiculous or exaggerate a contradiction for good satirical purposes so everyone has a laugh. But what all of these have in common is it's either destruction or at best creative destruction. And this is when the jar of acid is wielded by like an expert satirist, you know, someone who's really good at picking stuff apart and knows why they're picking stuff apart. But if you're just picking stuff apart as like a reaction to the world, I don't know, you give everyone a jar of acid and you get a lot of burn victims. Ironic political campaigns then poke fun at the political process in and of itself. Essentially they're saying, the political process sucks, there's no point in actually sincerely engaging with it, everyone you get is going to be a clown. But here's the thing, most ironic political campaigns do have an underlying ideology, an unironic underlying ideology that benefits from picking apart the political system. That's libertarianism. There's a reason Vermin Supreme is on the libertarian candidacy. Now I am a libertarian of course, but I'm also a socialist, so these things pull at me. It's not just libertarians, it's also like political nihilists and people who just don't see any value in participating in the system at all. There's a pretty broad coalition of people who would support a nihilistic or satirical candidate. And there is a lot of nihilism, and that's definitely a part of my campaign. There is elements of that within my campaign. I'm not fully sincere. So these ironic political campaigns often act as catharsis for people to vent about a failing system. These satirical campaigns don't respect the political system enough to actually try to win. And that means they don't run on any actual political position. They don't have anything they're proposing. They're just saying this sucks. But if you're running a nihilistic campaign, you can't expect people to vote for you, really. Because if someone cares enough to go to the polls, waste their time in the station, and vote, it means they care enough about their nihilism to act on it, which most nihilists don't. Unless you are the cool kind of political nihilist, but not many of you are. So what are some examples of ironic political campaigns? You probably already know. There's Vermin Supreme from the States, there's Lord Buckethead from Britain. So let's look at the Rhino Party. That's the Canadian party. Those are the people who I've been compared to the most. As we're voting for clowns, choose the funniest. It's basically the whole political system is a joke. So here's some quick policy proposals that they have. Make sorry the new official motto of Canada. Nationalize bacon. Make illiteracy the third language of Canada. These people and I are certainly cut from the same cloth. I'm sure we have a lot of the same perspectives on things. I would just say we probably looked at the same things and came to different conclusions. I've come to the conclusion that I need to at least participate in the system unironically, sincerely, in order to figure it out, right? To learn about it. And that's partially why I'm doing this. By engaging in the political system sincerely, I've learned a lot about municipal politics. And not all of it has been, it's completely fucked, oh, everything's so bad. There's a lot of it which has been, oh, these are people who try really, really hard to win like 20 votes. These are people who are just go, go, go all the time, working their tails off. I mean, there's a lot to disrespect and there's a lot to respect. And I've learned a lot, I've seen a lot in my time just engaging with actual sincere political candidates. And I don't think you can say the whole system's bad unless you do that. So if I come out of it, at the end of it, and I say the whole system's bad and it needs to be destroyed, then at least you know I'm coming at it from a perspective where I engaged with the system sincerely, instead of just doing it for a laugh. So the Rhino Party is a self-admittedly fake party. The Rhino Party is trying to run a clown campaign. I am trying to run a serious campaign with clown characteristics. There's a through line with a lot of ironic campaigns that carry with it a kind of low-level contempt for politics as it is. I sympathize with that contempt, obviously, and I think that in order to reach the kind of people that I want to reach, I need to at least engage with that contempt. But I also want to make sure that beyond any mocking I do, I also posit something. I should also say there are a lot of sincere and positive points that come from ironic political campaign. I do a lot of the kinds of tactics that a regularly ironic campaign would do. Telling a joke like, I'm going to fund my own personal police force.
As mayor, I would be one of the most marginalized groups. There's like one mayor. And so I would take all the money from climate change and I would put it into my own personal police force so that I would be protected. And that might be the most effective way to protect a marginalized group, me.
Is something that can be generative, because if everyone laughs at the joke, even a left-winger and right-winger laughing at the same joke, you're at least laughing at the same joke, right? Like, you may think you disagree on everything, but if you can laugh at the same political joke, then there is a sort of link there. There's something going on. There's a bit of unity, you know? Even in a very small niche case. And if you can agree with someone on a very small niche case, maybe you don't have to kill each other. To be clear though, I am pro-killing each other. So again, what makes the campaign sincere is that I'm actually trying to win. I have a full political campaign staff that I do not know how to manage. I have a campaign budget. I have canvassing efforts. I have rallies. I'm going through the process of doing campaign financing, which is horrible. I have lived in this town my entire life. And then I studied journalism in the town for 4 years. And even at the end of the degree, I still didn't know very much about municipal politics, if anything, right? And now I'm running for municipal politics, and there's still, I would say, the majority of it that I don't know. So my goal here is not simply to contribute more noise and nihilism or to dunk on people who actually believe things. It's not to make a mockery of local politics or make some trite point about nothing mattering or whatever. The irony is an aesthetic I use to get through to you dopamine-fucked Zoomers. You dopamine-fucked Zoomers. You gotta cut the meaning with a little bit of cocaine or else no one's gonna snort it. In this case, the cocaine is entertainment, I guess. Of course, the full motivations of my campaign are not actually being described here. I do suffer with this inescapable feeling of nihilism, dread, and suicidality which permeates my every thought. And it has leaked into the campaign, and it leaks into everything I do, even when I try to make a sincere point. And, but I think that if all people take away from my campaign is that politics is stupid, and why bother thinking or caring about it at all, I will have failed. Post-irony was a choice that I made for how to run my political campaign, partially because it's all I know, and partially because that's how I started off by engaging with politics. And the post-irony element of my campaign is fundamental to the political message, personal message, social message that I'm trying to get across. It is these small glimpses of better futures peeking out from our irony and cynicism and nihilism, these little glimmers of hope that really interest me. Right? Yeah, that's right. This video about irony was completely sincere. And it seems like it's not fitting, but actually it is because it's about post-irony. I can do whatever I want though. You think I'm gonna be ironic all the time? You think you can read me like a book? I can do whatever I can say whatever I want. Suck my dick.